Hey guys, my name is FrickingNick, and I have a special treat for you all today. I had the absolute privilege to sit down with the Lords of Dead by Daylight lore, those being Pixelbush, Mint Skull, and Asimov's, and we played DBD for about 3 hours while just talking. This is part of my talk show called Hooked Ones, where I interview guests while we play DBD, and I stream it over on the Purple app. This is edited down to cut out all the fluff, so just sit back and enjoy. All right, first question for you guys. What got you guys into content creation and then specifically Dead by Daylight?
Ooh, okay. Well, into content creation, at least for DBD, I started during COVID because I had a bunch of time, which I think was probably quite a shared experience for a lot of people. DBD specifically, kind of by a bit of a fluke, to be honest. I just played it a bit with friends. I happened to pick it up again in 2020, just when I started making videos. And I just decided I could probably add something to it, so I gave it a shot. And with time on my hands, it kind of worked out.
I'll say. And what about you, Mint Skull?
I came into content creator, sorry, because, oh my god, this is so hard to talk while I'm being chased.
Lock in, Mint Skull.
I got into it because I think it's like one of the most fun things to do, honestly. Like just making videos of random stuff. Oh.
Okay, here.
Hello, everyone.
Especially of a game that, you know, I enjoy. Same like as streaming and stuff. And what got me into DBD was simply because it was the game that I knew, I would say, the best. Oh my god, I'm juicing this. Oh my god.
Mint Skull the Sorcerer.
It's so hard to talk. This is my first time
Absolutely.
actually talking.
I was quite grateful that I was first chase, but while Asimov was talking.
Yeah.
I was quite grateful about that.
The killer left
Lock
me,
in.
I think. Oh. But yeah, DBD was the game that I knew the most. I don't know if it's part of the... I don't know if I can say this word, but basically, I have an affinity for remembering some very, very weird and super specific things. And I remember I used to watch a lot of DBD, but in the past, at least, the content was very gameplay focused, and there was no fun facts or like outside of Pixelbush and Asimov's. I think nobody did what I would call out-of-the-box videos. And so I said, okay, I'll do fun facts. The video just did well, and that's why I'm here, basically.
Nice.
It's pretty fantastic.
I think that's the main thing. When people come to me and they say, hey, I want to start making DBD content, do you have any advice? My thing is don't do anything conventional. Don't do hey, here's this survivor build, or hey, here's a killer that I was able to loot for 20 minutes. It's because it's so overdone. So I think that's just obviously you can find success with it, and people still do, but it's you gotta put some of your DNA into that, you know. But anyway, Pixelbush, your turn now.
Okay. Similar to Asimov's, I started out during the pandemic, but not for the same reason. Because I was working during the pandemic. I worked at a hospital. And I was bored out of my skull. I was doing clerical work, so helping secretaries do filing and shit. And it was decaying my brain. And I needed an outlet to talk about things I liked with anybody who could listen. I just left university, so all my any friends I had at uni were gone. It was literally just me going to work every day being miserable because I had no one to talk to about any of the things I found interesting, and because no one cared, no one listened. So I thought, sod it. I'm going to make a YouTube channel where I just talk about things that interest me with regards to it was originally going to be I was shooting for more of a variety thing originally because I play lots of different games. I know lots about story stuff, lots of different games, but DBD was the one that really caught on. And that's kind of that's where all that came from. It was just a case of I was so bored that it was oh bloody Nora, that's a Scottish man. I was so bored that I would do anything just to get my... Oh, he's right there.
Run, Pixelbush, run!
I'm running with great speed and velocity.
4%?
Don't worry, we got this easy. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
maybe worth a
Don't worry
shot.
about it. Pallets here, and as we all know, pallets are known to destroy the blighted character. That's how that
No luck.
works. Don't worry, Minsko, we got this.
Oh, I should
We
have.
got
This
this,
would
right?
this would have been great for
We got
doing
this,
an
right?
Body
exponential,
block?
wouldn't it?
Oh my god.
Okay, it is now your job to unfuck this game.
Oh,
Responsibility's off my shoulders. Yeah, I was just so bored. I needed some way to. I needed an outlet, and YouTube provided that. And then, as I kind of became friendly with more figures in the DBD community, it settled on me that variety stuff wasn't really going to work for me, and that I'd be better off just making DBD exclusive things. Obviously, lore being my original big focus, but I have diversified a little bit since then, just because why not? Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Oh, this is rough.
wait, what the fuck is the state of the
We're
game?
all just taking turns locking in. Okay.
This could be, in theory, better.
Okay, I have a question for you guys while you're just chilling out down there. Where did you guys' names come from?
Okay, so mine is, well, the first part is my initials, AZHY. And then Movs is from the writer Isaac Asimov.
Based.
But then I
Okay.
just replaced the Azzy part with Azzy. That's basically it. And I added an S to the end because I thought it sounded better.
Are you a big Asimov fan?
Yeah, I like him, yeah, like his books.
Mine is pretty simple. Mint because green is my favorite color and it's the color I use for my branding and stuff. And school because I like schools. I'm skinny and it's kind of sounds like school. I mean the way I pronounce it as well. And since I wanted to do like beginner types of videos, it was like, oh, mint school. That's it.
Pixel Bush,
mine-
that's been an enigma. I meant to ask you this because you've been on the show before. I meant to ask you this the first time and then I forgot. So where does Pixel Bush come from?
Well, when when I was starting out, I was looking into go and do like variety stuff. League of Legends was a game I was playing at the time, and going full time on DBD actually helped me kick the addiction. I haven't played that game in a very long time, aside from when I've absolutely had to for video footage. And so the Pixel Bush is a little bush on the map. It's in the middle of the river that like players are known to hide in.
What content do you guys think you'd be making? Like, what games lore would you talk about if it wasn't Dead by Daylight or fun facts or whatever?
Ooh, that's a really tough one. I mean, when I was a lot younger, I used to make Minecraft videos. So
All right.
who knows? that's I started making videos when I was 13, doing Minecraft. So maybe that, but then I don't think I quite have the right personality for that type of thing. Maybe like Resident Evil. I've liked that a lot in, learning about it through DBD. It's become, probably my favorite game series. So probably go with that, I reckon.
So if I didn't make content for DBD, I think it's kind of similar to Asimov's. When I was younger, I used to do. I did have my Minecraft phase, but not like lore. I don't think Minecraft has like that deep of a lore.
Yeah, I think everything.
But
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
No, I was gonna say everything in Minecraft is just kind of like extrapolation based on context. You know.
So I think in I don't know. It doesn't have to be a video game because I think if I didn't do DBD stuff, I would do like real life stuff, especially centered around horror because that's what I used to watch when I was a kid.
Like Nexpo, those kind of. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not on that level of high production, but I even in the past I used to do like with a program way back. This is like in Spanish content creation. Everyone was using a voice called Loquendo. I don't know if it's how it's pronounced in English, but like the entire YouTube meta was filled with videos of like top 10 scariest places in the earth or like top 10 scariest creatures, stuff like that. I would basically be one of those top 10s channels.
I think for me, it would probably end up being either Overwatch or Magic the Gathering. because I care a lot about the stories of both those games. I was actually considering, I was prepped for a soft or even hard pivot into Overwatch lore about a year and a half ago because of Overwatch 2, and there's this big hype, oh, we're going to get PvE missions with loads of lore and stuff, and they're going to push the story forward. And I was so excited. I had like content plans ready. I've got half video scripts lying around, and then they canned them, and then they threw the PvE away. And that killed a lot of my enthusiasm to want to do Overwatch lore stuff, which is a real shame because I love the world of Overwatch, and I like picking apart how Blizzard is trying to keep the game, like keep the game's lore relevant, and trying to write a story that's far more complicated than they planned it to be, like in a way that makes sense. Similar case of Magic the Gathering. Magic has had it's a 30-year-old game with a shit ton of lore. So much lore. And so much of it is of its time, shall we say. And that makes it very interesting to me. But at about the same kind of time, Magic started to showcase how they're deprioritizing their lore. Like we had whole sets at a time where just, we wouldn't get any lore at all. Wait, is that a Skull Merchant?
Don't look at who the killer is. No, it's not.
Like
it's not a Skull Merchant.
Is it?
Hello.
It's not Will. No.
Do we have permission to DC? I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
All right. Well, while we're here, who do you guys love going against the most and hate going against the most?
I've really grown to love Deathslinger over time. I like how he's very much encouraged to actually hit you. Mm-hmm. Like he's punished after every miss. And like Deathslinger's like his effectiveness scales entirely with how good you are in chase, and I massively respect. It's why his kill rate is, I think, lower than average on Nightlight, is because he's just very skill testing for the killer. And I'll always rate that. Similar case of Xenomorph, where I love the gameplay that flame turrets encourage. Like on the serve end, so
Mm-hmm.
I have characters I appreciate.
And your least
favorite Spirit and Legion. Spirit, because I have hearing issues. My directional hearing is shot to hell, so I can't play against Spirit. It's just not something my body's able to do.
He's following me, by the way.
And I'm a Legion and Huntress disliker as well. Legion because the power is just kind of not really a power. Just you're injured and you're mending sometimes. There's not a lot going on. And Huntress because I play on EU, so there's too many of them, and they're usually playing from Eastern Europe with enough pain to like play in the Stone Age. Yeah, it's not terribly interesting. Not terribly controversial killers. Yeah, wow, Legion Hunter is not very interesting, but yeah.
I mean, Legion's very controversial because he's just like they're just kind of known as like the mending simulator, But I don't think
they're plague without a soul. That's that's kind of my take on Legion.
I would say for me it depends more on like the frequency of the character's appearance. Like I was like facing characters I've not seen in a while, or I don't know, or characters that are just generally kind of underplayed. Like, I don't know, you don't see many artists, for example. I quite like facing artists. And it's all the characters that just appear like really frequently. It just gets very boring, I think, going against them repeatedly. Like, I don't know, Huntresses, Weskers. They're fine for like a game or two, but when you get them, like back to back repeatedly, I don't know. So I think it's more on like frequency, I would say.
So I think you're looking forward to June, aren't you?
Wesker Simulator.
Like when Wesker came out, it was just 2 months straight of just Wesker games.
Okay, I'm gonna shoulder your burden, then, Skull.
Oh, thank you.
The bingle has been shingled.
Appreciate it.
And what about you, Mint?
I don't know if it's bad to say that I don't have like a killer that I enjoy going against specifically. Maybe at most the Wraith, because I enjoy when Wraith knows what they do. and they try to like body block me or the pallet breaking stuff where whoever has the best ping wins.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. It's like a completely different killer when the killer player knows how to play them. But like, I mean, there's only two killers that actually I absolutely despise. The killer I hate the most playing against is Trickster. Like, it's one of the only killers that I don't like. And the other killer I despise playing against is Dracula. I don't know.
Oh, she's got coup. That's coup lunge.
I think for me, I love playing both as and against Oni. Just
Oni's great.
it's just
Oni is
I
good,
love
yeah.
the ebb and flow, and I love the high stakes that you feel. Yeah, and then I don't like going against Plague. I think Plague has some of the most like well written lore of the game, and I love her for that. I don't like going against her.
That's fair enough. Like in solo queue, she can be a bloody menace.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
One
a
of the
new-
questions that one of the questions that I got on Twitter, probably one of the most common questions that I get and probably that you guys get is, are you excited for the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter?
I'm excited in the sense it's probably going to be good for the game.
Yeah.
Going to bring a lot of people in. In terms of like the actual, like Five Nights at Freddy's itself, I don't know much about it. I've seen the film, and I've played 2 nights of the first game, so that's like all I really know. But I'm like happy everyone else is happy is sort of where I'm coming from, and I'm looking forward to it being a good impact on the game as well.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for FNAF.
Are you a FNAF
Like-
fan?
I used to be. Be careful, she's coming.
Yep.
I used to be one of the FNAF kids that played, but I didn't play all of the games. I only played the first and the second one.
I
And
bet.
the VR. Oh,
I dramaturgied.
I see. Unlucky. Is she hooking you?
No, she's mooring me.
Oh.
Lucky me.
No.
All right, sorry.
But yeah,
Continue.
it was
So
one
you were a
of
FNAF
the-
kid?
Yeah, I used to be one. I still think, in terms of like modern. Oh, in terms of modern. How to say it? Like, for example, Resident Evil is absolutely massive, right? And Silent Hill as well, and the Xenomorph, all that stuff. But in terms of something that is fresh and new, I think the only license we got in DBD was Stranger Things, if I'm not mistaken. Like, unless we're counting Alan Wake 2. But I don't count Alan Wake as a new license, personally.
Wow, okay.
And-
No, I'm just kidding.
Like, I mean, how old is that game? Like,
yeah.
it's not. When did it release, basically?
Yeah.
Like, I forgot.
DVD came out in
Alan Wake 2
2016.
is modern, of course. But yeah, and in terms of, we haven't had a single indie representation as well, I think, like indie game. And it's also one of the most requested licenses, like, since I started playing DBD and since we started getting more like video game licenses around Silent Hill chapter. I remember everyone. I mean, you know, as content creators, you know it's FNAF copium. Every single time there's a new content coming. Oh shit! So the fact that it's a reality is, for me, it's crazy. I worry about the future because I think the only chapter that can compete in terms of hype, and I am not sure if it even can compete, is Jason. Like, when I start thinking of licenses, which one is as big as FNAF? In
Maybe
terms of like
maybe-
hype, I mean.
Maybe Stephen King's It.
Yeah.
Yeah, it for example would be
could be.
a great one on the level of Jason and stuff. But if they release Predator, I don't think. Personally, I don't think it's going to be doing as much numbers as FNAF.
All right, Will.
All right. Well then, I think it will. I think I'm glad people are happy about FNAF coming to DBD. I am a FNAF hater, and I kind of always have been. I don't like the way Scott writes. I don't find the games to be effectively scary. I I think I've played a lot of the. I think I've actually played all the games at various stages except Security Breach because I have standards. But I am an ultra. I do not particularly like the FNAF series at all. So yeah, I'm not particularly gassed, especially because the other licenses we've gotten lately haven't done it really for me either. Like D&D is cool and all, but it's not my favorite thing. Well, no, D&D is. I love D&D as an IP, but I value it a lot for the game more than anything else. And obviously, there's no. I should under her own drone, lol. But yeah, there's not really a lot to. I don't really care for D&D chapter that much. I really didn't like. I forget Castlevania exists sometimes. I really do. And it's just another one in the row, really. Another license I'm not terribly excited about. Oh, she tried to Mori and forgot they were shoulder the burden.
Yeah. Oh, nice! Thank you.
That was a lovely save.
Moves.
Yeah. I'm glad people are getting what they want. I just know it's not really for me, and I'm kind of tired of saying that, after a bunch of stuff that also hasn't really been for me. So yeah, it doesn't feel great. Especially given the March license may have been leaked. I'm not excited about that either. So this is just another pile up of content that's not very interesting to me. It'll be fun to make a video or two on it.
Yeah.
But at this point, what I'm really waiting on is more original stuff.
Another question about content creation. What's the vibe of your guys' YouTube comment sections? Do you still check them, or do you what goes on in there?
I very much still check them. I very much still read them all the time.
Yeah.
It's definitely gotten worse in the past year or so. Almost like being a spokesperson for the most hated killer in the game will do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's I've no bones about it. I get a lot of harassment. I get so much harassment, and most of it's to do with Merchant. I really shouldn't read as much as I do, but this is the way it is, I guess. I've just gotten used to it. Beyond that, I always like when people disagree with me in interesting ways that I haven't thought about. So some of my favorite YouTube comments have tended to be in that fashion, but it's just become a complete cesspit lately. And I'm getting quite exhausted, so I should just be reading them less, but I just need to get myself into the habit of that.
One thing I get asked a lot to do is make a feat ranking or a feat tier list. That appears a lot in my comments.
Is that something that's going to happen?
It's never going to happen. I keep telling everyone.
What?
Literally
April Fool's Day 2025?
Make it a stretch goal. Do like a...
when I finally run out of ideas, that's the video I'll make. And then I'll leave.
I could tell you from experience that
Grateful Universe.
Making a video on Dead by Daylight and feet, it makes money.
Yeah, that was a good video as well. I mean, I've touched on the topic. It's just focusing on a direct foot ranking. Oof, that's something else. That's crossing a line.
I asked because I feel like just maybe like I don't know, just the past year or so, I feel like comment sections have gotten so much more like toxic. Maybe it's because I'm primarily on TikTok, but it's just like I can't even say anything. Like, oh, Freddy can now teleport to healing survivors, and they're like, oh, what are they gonna do? Make it so you immediately start on hook from now on? It's like, okay.
Yeah, I've noticed the quality of conversation just tanking.
Yeah, it's
really, really quite depressing.
And then it's either that or then, like, I feel like making content on lore, which is something that we all do. There's a subset of people who either knows their shit or they think they know their shit, and they watch specifically to jump on anything they perceive as an inaccuracy.
Yes. Oh, I can smell the nerd glasses on them. I can smell the plastic.
What original chapter in Dead by Daylight do you guys think is a masterpiece?
Hot take. Actually, maybe not hot take. But All Things Wicked.
Ooh, I agree.
Even for the lore. I don't know that's hot take in the lore regard, but I think it's overall it's just a fun chapter, and that's what I like about it.
And I think the icing on
From,
the
like,
cake was the
top to bottom.
lead up to the reveal.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
the marketing
incredible.
was crazy.
The marketing was awesome. Yeah.
The hype around it as well. I don't remember licensed chapters being so hyped and so talked about. And I remember when the Xenomorph was revealed, I thought the community would explode, but nah, I feel like it came and went. Like, oh, we have the alien.
Really quickly.
Yes.
But with the Unknown, I even remember talking to people that didn't play DBD and they knew who the Unknown was. Like they've seen it. But I won't, like, I will agree with Pixel Brush. Sable's lore is horrific. I have no idea what behavior was thinking.
Oh,
I
that's what I
think
like
they were.
about it.
I can't the point. I think they were.
They're like, I don't know why they had to market her as Michaela's friend when they could have done an individual character. That's it. I literally don't get it. If they did something interesting, like, say for example, oh, but this Sable is from a different universe where she is. But I think that's a cop out, personally.
Agreed.
I don't
Well,
know
it
why
does.
they didn't do like a individual Sable where her personality is not, as people say, I'm not like the other girls and I'm besties with Michaela.
Something that I thought is kind of funny is how her lore is like she's into gore and blood and Satanism,
bugs.
and then in the lobby she's like, "This is just like the Wizard of Oz. Looks like we're not in Kansas anymore." I thought
Like
that
half our lives are just about that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the other
Bizarre.
half of some variation of the word "yum," because
Yeah.
I love multiple catchphrases. They're really cool.
Yeah, I would agree with the Asimovs. I think all things wicked.
Okay.
But maybe if there was another one, I think what was the name of the Dredge chapter? If they did Hadi
Roots of
well,
Dread.
that could have been one of the best, in my opinion. They just I don't know why they decided to do the Hadi that is not from the tomes, like the one that we knew.
Fair enough.
The Dredge is amazing. I remember a lot of people loved the Dredge, and I was very hyped for Hadi. Like, oh, finally a character that appeared in the lore, being a survivor. But then they I don't know what they did. Like I try to think of me creating a chapter. I have no idea why they chose the things they chose. Oh, I don't know how to speak. My bad.
No, I like it. I see what you guys are thinking. Where I would stand, I think we had a runner of 3 perfect originals back to back to back. And that was Demise of the Faithful into Cursed Legacy into Chains of Hate. I think, yeah, Plague to Oni to Slinger. Absolute chef's kiss. Because they all took very... that's all Shaking Thunder. They all took very distinct concepts that DBD hadn't really touched on before, and DBD-ified them. Like this wasn't DBD's homage to a certain movie or whatever. It was, this is our version. This is our Western. This is our like a mummy almost. That's kind of what Adiris is styled a little bit after with the whole like the time period and the clothing and everything. Like she's kind of DBD take on a mummy. It's just suggesting I'll take on a cowboy.
And religious zealot as well, no? Like I remember behavior said that they didn't want to touch on like the non Christian themes basically.
Absolutely.
So that was their solution.
Yeah, completely. I think that the powers were home runs. I think the visual designs have been the best they've had for killers. I think the survivor lore marked a significant upgrade from the survivor lore that we used to get. I think the stories have aged brilliantly. Like I still think Plague and Oni are some of the best written characters in the game. The only thing maybe was lackluster perks when they came out, but they've since a lot of them since been buffed, things like Zanshin and whatnot. So I think in general, and even the map designs, like Temple of Purgation obviously was massive, but that was the only real issue with it. Dead Dog is a fine map. Sanctum of Wrath is a fine map. Like I think in all 3 of those cases, they didn't really put a foot wrong. They've aged immaculately as chapters.
Okay. My answer would also go to Cursed Legacy. I think
this is my first game against Hal Master, by the way.
ever.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Really?
I think so.
By the way, in terms of lore, I think the chapter for Helm Master is really interesting. Personally,
I agree.
I like
yeah,
Hurricane and
Yeah, I was
Helmets.
always thinking like Spooky Ghost Pirate was one of my most wanted original chapters, but I think they handled Pirate Killer super well.
We all out?
Yeah, we're in here just
Yeah, we're
healing,
good.
just scrounging up a little bit of
Yeah,
points.
just be careful not to get grabbed by the dogs, otherwise you are just dead.
yeah.
What's a tome or just like a ancillary lore character that you guys would like to see come to Dead by Daylight?
There's like a samurai, Saku, I think she's
Saku,
called, which would be
yeah.
cool. She would be really cool with a like they can do something with like they did with the Blight in the past, because the Blight was the alchemist before, and everyone was thinking, oh, it's Vigo, and then they just released Felix with Blight, which was one of the biggest, like, I believe, lore, how do you say, background building chapters, because they revealed the Farias, I think they're called, like the group Elodie and Felix. Then they revealed everything about the Blight, all the things. The Void, I think, was revealed there as well.
Yes.
The Pustulas, everything like that. Saku, I think, is as a survivor, I think is the one that people would recognize, at least the people that read the lore and stuff, would recognize the most. Another one is, but I don't know if they will do it, Benedict Baker. As far as I'm aware, nobody knows anything. Like, in the start, he was, because I remember I was like in 2016 and we had nothing in terms of lore besides Benedict Baker entries. So he was apparently like one of the not protagonists, but one of the most interesting people in DBD. And one day he just disappeared.
Yeah,
no
he
more
just-
entries for characters.
He just dropped off the face of the earth. Like they removed all of his stuff from the game. They reference him in the casting of Frank Stone, but
Yep.
yeah.
I
And
haven't played that game.
and I believe he's mentioned in the anniversary tome from
Oh
last year.
yes,
as well.
because he like mentioned something about tricks, right? Like he gives
Yes,
his own
because he
theory
talks
on
about
what.
how
He gets like name
talks
dropped
about how
briefly.
there's a bunch of different people talking about what they theorize tricks is, and Benedict Baker is one of the people whose theory is cited about what tricks is.
Mm.
It's so fun talking to 3 other lore nerds. Okay.
It's awesome, isn't it?
All right. So
Yeah.
who else would we like to see?
Well, I'm actually working on a video series about this. Kind of in the style of Attention Problems videos, where I don't know if you've like seen them, but I end up I do like chapter concepts for licenses that I find interesting to talk about, and I'm doing something similar for quote unquote original characters, like taking them from DBD's lore and expanding them. So I think the one I've got hoping to come out soon is about, it's basically like what is like trying to do what Cursed Legacy did for Spirit, but for Hag. Because in Hag's lore alludes to a second potential killer.
The Butcher?
The Butcher, the owner of the Scarred Hand.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not? So like I've got a power concept for him ready. I've got an artist to do some concept art for him and for the Survivor, who is in my case going to be Hag's grandma, because DBD doesn't have a woman over 40. But yeah, I would love to see more chapters in the style of Cursed Legacy, where we go. I know All Things Wicked kind of did it, but Sable was shoehorned in. We all know that that she was bludgeoned over the head, made to shove into that box. But I'd like to see so many of these characters that exist in the background be like, there's room to expand the stories, like Julian, for example. A lot of people are saying, oh, Julian could have been Sable, because he fits better into Michaela's best friend kind of archetype than Sable herself does. So I could 100% see Julian maybe in the future, or even someone like Archie McMillan as a survivor would be kind of interesting if we wanted to see more of the what is it? Morally ambiguous or morally repugnant survivors. I think someone like Archie McMillan would be an interesting addition. But I think there's loads of room to fill in the background around DBD's universe in ways that we've only really seen in the Yamarokas so far. Like, there's so much room to work with. And actually, no, I guess if I had it with Otto Stamper as well, because we had the Dredge. But no, I think there's room to give us more sequel chapters. So that's going to answer. Just like give us sequel chapters, because we've had so many cool concepts that have only barely been touched on, that are like surfaces that have been scratched. So I'm really hoping just more sequel chapters.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
wonder
hoping
call
for.
it. Yeah, sequel chapter. Like, I remember you saying that you would most like to see a sequel to End Transmission.
No,
Yes, absolutely. And transmission is such an interesting concept behind it, and the world it paints is so cool. Of like this spacefaring society built around clones and like clone labor. That's really cool. Do something with that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, so close on the save. No, there's so much potential for interesting sequel chapters. I just hope DBD gets to do it. Do you think that there's enough confidence in their own IP and what they've already made to double dip and try again?
I know, doing 3 licenses last year was a little exhausting, and I hope
bit
that they
much,
start
yeah.
doing more originals.
Yeah.
What about you, Hajimos? Any lore characters we haven't spoken of, or one that we have spoken of that you'd like to see?
I'd just like to see like characters who interacted with the entity or got taken by it, but we don't actually see what happened. So, characters like Julian, characters like Elodie and Felix's parents.
Jake Park's grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, who else was I thinking of? Olivia, I guess, because she kind of sees it
Yes.
when Unknown gets taken.
Olivia would be great.
Also, the end of that lore is just kind of bizarre. I want to know what happens to like her afterwards. So yeah, all those characters who like have some kind of interaction with the entity, but we don't really know what happens after. Maybe like a character who can sort of exist in the realm, or their lore takes place in the realm, you know, in like the wider realm.
Yeah,
before they
I think
come to the
Julian.
trials, that kind of thing.
I think Julian would be a great candidate for that, because his story's kind of been told. Like, we know what his life in Greenville was like. So I would love to have someone we've already kind of seen a little bit of, and whose backstory we already know, be our way into a more realm-based story, because they don't need their story told again.
That's true. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the more recent trend of there being less than horror IP coming to Dead by Daylight?
I think there is nothing wrong with them in theory, if they get the tone right.
Yeah.
And they've generally succeeded at that so far. There's been a couple of near misses. I think the Bards are a great example of that. I think like Bardic Inspiration just looks fucking weird. And I think the Bards as characters don't feel like they belong in a horror game. Like, there's absolutely, which is odd, because they were made for a horror game. They were made for DBD, but they don't feel like it. They seem very strange. Whereas I think in general they've done a good job of making sure it's a tonal fit. And I think I said this on Twitter before to Nick, but to me what matters is the idea of it has to be a tonal fit as opposed to like a genre fit necessarily.
And in terms of the horror atmosphere of DBD, I think that ship has sailed a long time ago. When they started doing the actual officially licensed body pillows of David King and the Huntress, when the merch store first came out.
Yeah.
Kind of like Call of Duty. People are complaining that, oh, but this is not realistic. The ship has sailed so long ago. At this point, honestly. But I agree with the Pixel Bush. I would rather have horror adjacent licenses. And as of right now, I think all of them fit DBD. There's no license that I think, oh, this doesn't fit. Oh, nice. I mean, we got Rainbow Six Siege, no?
Yeah, we did get Rainbow
Yeah,
Six
that's
Siege.
the
That's
most-
definitely not horror. I mean, maybe the way I play it, but
Because the example I always give of an example of something that would be horror adjacent in tone, but not a horror property, is Warhammer 40k. Because that is a very dark and grim setting with a whole lot of grisly stuff that would really work. DBD would be a great tonal fit, even though 40k is not a horror franchise at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did notice it's appeared on behavior surveys before. And Games Workshop will give their license to anyone. So I'm keeping my eye on that. This is just as an example of a non-horror IP that might be worth keeping our eye on in the future.
Pixelbush, you said that you started talking about League of Legends, so you will be very familiar with it. But one of my most out of pocket, I guess,
Out of pocket,
licenses.
yeah.
I would love if they did a collab with something arcane related and add Fiddlesticks. I think Fiddlesticks. I hate League of Legends, absolutely, but I cannot deny that Fiddlestick is literally perfect for DBD.
Yeah,
They don't have to change anything.
You know, if I ever do pension problems League of Legends, which I've been asked to do before, you and me work on it together, because that sounds like it'll be a good time. Let's do it.
Fiddlestick?
Yeah, talk about the city scarecrow.
Yeah, sure.
Let's
I mean,
do it.
the cinematic that they used to reveal the rework.
So good.
So, like, I'm one of the biggest haters of League of, but I cannot deny when something is good.
That was
Like-
incredible. Fiddlesticks.
Yeah,
End of.
Imagine if they did voice lines for every single survivor, like original
That was
survivor.
so good. Yeah. This is the last thing they heard.
Yeah, for me, I think the way that I see it is, you know, like the entity from like a lore perspective is not going to find somebody who's like has this propensity for bloodlust, can instill fear in those who they target, and is going to say, they're not from a horror IP though. You know, I think
Yeah.
kind of like what
Absolutely.
Pixel said, like it's got to be like a tonal fin. It's got to be like something that I think could plausibly fulfill the entity's needs, like in either instilling fear in the survivors, providing that bloodlust, or being somebody who has dealt with hardship and exhibits those feelings of like hope. And speaking of, I just cut straight to the Mori. But yeah, and that's the way that I view it. Okay, so I asked people to talk about some of their most wanted chapters to come to Dead by Daylight, and this could be like rapid fire. Like we could just say, it fits, it doesn't fit, or I'm not too crazy about that. So let's see. Doctor Who. We got two British people. You guys know better than me.
Yep, fits.
Fits?
Works well.
All right. Okay. BioShock. We're going through the potential and problems list, aren't we?
I've done this video as well. Nothing wrong with it. That's where I stand.
All right, another one. This one you guys should know. Slender Man. Does Slender Man fit Dead by Daylight?
Ooh, I'd say this one's mainly difficult because like of the power and how you actually fit Slender Man into gameplay.
100%.
Because I think it's a cool character. It would probably get a lot of hype and everything, but in terms of its actual gameplay, it's not really like a slasher type. It doesn't really directly attack you. You're not meant to look at it, which is kind of a weird interaction. For DBD at least. Like with characters like Chucky, when they were issues being brought into the game, they always fit the game. It was just figuring out how, like, I don't know, his size worked or whatever to carry people. But for like Slender Man, it's like a whole other issue of like, what do you even do for the power? How does that fit into DBD's gameplay?
How do you fit Slender Man into Dead by Daylight while making him still feel like Slender Man?
Yeah, exactly.
If behavior's large brains can make it work, far away. You know, like if they can figure it out, then I see no reason why not. But that's a big if.
Oh, it's Blight.
The Scottish man has returned.
Lethal Pursuer?
I'm hit.
And Sadako doesn't touch survivors. Like, she's the furthest from slasher, I think it's called, like the killers that have machete. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somebody said that Psycho is their most wanted chapter to come to Dead by Daylight, and they were surprised they don't see it talked about very much in DBD circles. I was gonna say I don't think it's talked about much in DBD circles because I don't think people in DBD circles tend to watch classic horror that much.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Well, my issue is more I don't think you can bring it to DBD in a way that feels authentic because the nature of what Psycho is it doesn't. I think the two just don't gel well together, and that really is unfortunate because again, kind of Silence of the Lambs. It's like, if the sole point of DBD was to be a horror hall of fame, then yeah, it deserves that. But also, there's lots of kinds of horror that just don't really work with that would feel betrayed by condensing them down into running around a palette. So yeah, I think it sucks that I don't think it would work, but I don't think it would work.
Yeah. Any JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans among us?
I would love to have Yoshikage Kira in DVD, and he would fit perfectly. The only problem is how do you translate the art of JoJo into DVD that it would fit nicely. If the leaks are true, I want to see how they do it, because right now the closest we have, personally, is Alucard.
Yeah. Although I'd say like even looking at Trevor's model, it's the way it's stylized is quite unlike every other DVD survivor. Like his waist and his face design and everything, it's very different from the normal DVD survivor design. And I'm interested to see how future anime chapters could do that. Interesting.
Jurassic Park or Jurassic World? Would those fit in Dead by Daylight?
Sorry, that was just really funny. What happened there?
What do we think?
I'm hitting that with the hard maybe. It's not one I think it kind of like D&D, where it's like I'd have to believe it when I saw it in terms of whether or not it would work. There's certainly potential for it to work. There's also potential for it to be awful. That's kind of what, but the only way we could know really is if we actually saw it and saw what they wanted to do. So yeah, maybe.
I would love to play as a Indoraptor, I think they're called.
An
The ones that are
Indoraptor,
in the movie.
Oh shit.
What if they just
I
do
heard that the books
T-Rex.
apparently are... Sorry?
just a T-Rex, play
Yeah.
it the size of a building,
massive.
jumping around?
Maybe the My Little Oni game mode was a tease for Godzilla and the T-Rex.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I mean, they already programmed the wolf, and one thing of the wolf that I did notice is that when you... One of the problems I had with that dinosaur in DBD is how do you do the walking back animation? And the wolf slows down when you go back. They did Chucky. They already fixed the problem of what do you show in first person if you're playing as a dinosaur? Like the claws, that would look super bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
It would be a third person killer, I think. Like a small stature third person killer.
Do you think DC or Marvel Comics could work in Dead by Daylight?
Carnage from Marvel and Scarecrow from DC.
Yeah, I know at least one hardcore Scarecrow truther who's punching the air right now.
Superhero chapter would go hard. Like, kind of like Homelander, but I don't know if the boys would fit DBD, but something that is viewed as a savior turned into a villain, I think would be cool.
Yeah, I think one of my if behavior came to me and said come up with something from Marvel, I'd be like just put Blade in there because I think he's so cool. One person said Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know why you talk about that one.
Yeah, right, that's an odd one. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I watched Tokyo Ghoul the first season. I mean, it's one of those things like, yeah, I could see it fit in Dead by Daylight. Sure, why not? But it's not something that I'd be like, hell yeah, give me Ken Kaneki, Art the Clown, once again pulling back from the Potentials and Problems series made by Pixel Bush.
My boy, my son. Yeah, I think art in DBD is not an if but a when. Like Terrifier 3 popped absolute gangbusters at the movies, and I think Terrifier 2 is by percentage of profits relative to budget the most profitable film of the 2020s. Because it cost $250,000 to make and made
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah, I think it was over 20 times that in profits. Like, people love Terrifier. And art, I think, is the closest we've had to one of the classic slashers that DBD owes so much to for the modern age. And I think maybe Heart Eyes might qualify if Heart Eyes is a good movie, which we'll find out in a couple of weeks. But art he is an icon of the times. And if we want like licenses for like newer stuff like FNAF, like Alan Wake, like Stranger Things, Terrifier is like should be near the top of the list. The only difficulty would Behavior be willing to go grisly enough to make art feel like art? Like, is this Mori going to take 10 minutes? The Mori's over. Nope, he's just getting the bleach out.
Yeah, I held off until October to watch the Terrifier movies, like, and then so I was like, oh, everybody just says that all it is just gore and violence, and I mean it is, but I think it
is.
I think it does harken back to like an age where horror didn't have to be like it didn't have to be like
pre-Hereditary era.
Yeah, the pre-Hereditary era. Which don't get me wrong, I love Hereditary. I think it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But I just it is. It kind of brings it back to simpler times.
Yeah, and it's like it is all violence and gore and exploitation, but so is Jason. Everyone wants him. Like so was Freddy Krueger for a very long time. Like so was Michael Myers for a very long time.
Last one. In Dead by Daylight, do you think that they could pull off Darth Vader?
yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, they have Vecna already. The ship has sailed for like villains that are not slashers and horror stuff.
Just do it. Just get it out there.
Excellent.
You can make a bunch of money.
It would make so
I
much
want
money.
to use a first-person lightsaber.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't Darth Vader be
Choking
one
survivors.
of the biggest icons in DVD? Like more than Alien, more than
genuinely.
I think he would be the
Definitely.
biggest, no?
He would be the biggest, yes, hands down.
100%. Yeah.
Well, Darth Vader is one of the most like well-known fictional characters in the world. But I think the only issue would be maybe similar to the one I talked about with Doctor Who, where I'm not sure if Disney would allow their family-friendly Star Wars brand to go near a game like DBD and subject their characters to potentially very grisly deaths. It's like, oh yeah, look at show little 9-year-old Timmy the new Star Wars DLC for Dead by Daylight. Oh, Han Solo's skin isn't peeled off. Oh, what's that? Oh dear. Art the Clown is Maureen Ray, and now we have to censor all of this.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the sequels though.
It's like, oh, John Boyega's in bits. Like, I'm not sure whether they would be okay with that, but okay, we'll see. I would like to see it, but I think due to Disney politicking, we never will, and that sucks.
Another topic that I told you guys that we were going to talk about is Dead by Daylight headcanons or fan theories or anything of that sort.
Master.
Do any of you have a headcanon that you hold, like, basically you believe with all your heart, but maybe haven't really shared too much on your channels?
Okay, I've got one that I share a lot, and several that I don't. The one that I give the most credence to, and I think Tori might be a soft, like, Tori is evidence for that, is that the Black Veil was the Plague's followers. They were the first Black Veil cultists.
Yeah,
and like I've been following that theory for a really long time with how the Black Veil dresses and the human sacrifice stuff. That's all very much what she does. But my extra little source, my for that is Tori's animations. In her lobby, the way she holds her left hand up is similar to how Adiris holds her holds her sensor up in her hand. And then when she throws her arms out in like prayer and adulation for the entity, Adiris does the exact same thing in the lobby.
Yeah.
The two have seemingly similar worship practices. So, you know, that's I talked about that on my channel before though, and I am thoroughly fond of the idea.
I have a headcanon or a theory that I hold dear about Dead by Daylight, and I want to bounce it off you guys. I think that the entity's trials are very, very dissimilar. Like they look almost nothing alike what we see in Dead by Daylight. I think this is merely just a gamified representation of what goes on in the entity's trials. I don't think there's a rule to be like, oh, once it's the third hook, that's going to be the one that kills you. You know?
Absolutely.
And like,
Isn't that like canon?
I'm pretty sure it is. I think
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too.
I'm doing
Like, the way the Observer talks about it seems quite different.
yeah, and he's
Like,
like
with survivors like bleeding out in trials and stuff like that.
he's like, oh, I saw
Survivors going crazy.
I saw Dwight's femoral artery severed and like bled out on the
Yeah, that's
floor.
what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Survivors fighting and killing each other.
Yeah.
Like the one was it who said to be like screaming due to their like traumatic memories, and then they had to be drowned by another survivor in a puddle. Just shut them up. And it's like, yeah, this is absolutely a gamified version, and it's even I think suggested that the whole like generators is just one of many different representations of the objective of the thing you must do to escape.
And like I know this is a deep pull, but from 2018 there's they used to do live streams on a weekly basis, the developers, and in one of them they said something along the lines of the entity's not watching the trials and there are no rules. What you can assume is that if you get blood points, you're doing something that benefits the entity.
Yeah, that feeds it.
Yeah. And so that's just kind of like, yeah, I think that explains a lot of like maybe some of the gripes that people have, like, oh, the Demogorgon wouldn't pick people up and hook them on a meat hook, because it's probably not doing that in, you know, if it was in the entity's
It's always
trials.
having a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also asked people for some of their headcanons, and the ones that weren't related to dating, relationship, and sexuality, I have saved.
Excellent.
So let's and then I told them that we would be judging them. This one I liked a lot. Dredge has some semblance of a personality, and it makes its skins out of things that it likes, like the toys or the snowman
That's interesting.
or the
I
crab
like that.
one.
I don't know how much I think that's true, but I really want it to be.
Yeah, it's something that's like, oh, that's kind of cute, and just thinking that the little Dredge just he's like, oh, I like this toy. Let's make a skin out of it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. This one.
Oh,
It
she's
does seem to
so-
have some like personality though, or at least it's aware somewhat of what it's doing. Like at the end of its lore, when it faces down with a auto stamper, and it like leaves him, it like doesn't like consume him.
Let's do a circle
Like-
reset.
That's something surely like. I don't know. It shows it's not just like this creature consuming everything.
Yeah.
It was aware of what Otto did, which would maybe suggest that it could sort of, you know, make that choice to consume what it wants or go
Yeah.
after things it likes or is attracted to.
Have some, almost a level of. I almost want to say loyalty to Stamper.
Yeah. For like creating that situation.
Someone in chat says Dredge must like Maurice.
Who doesn't?
Let him hang out with him for a bit. Let's see. The Legion was inspired by Danny Johnson.
That one's quite cool.
Danny Johnson as in the Ghostface?
As in
I
Ghostface,
think
yeah.
like we're talking in-game lore.
Yeah,
because I
in-game
made a
lore,
video in
that
the
like
past.
the in-game Legion members, they idolized or admired Danny Johnson. That's a fan theory, or a headcanon.
I mean, it's pretty plausible.
It is certainly plausible. Unfortunately, if there's something like that, I would probably have been in the comics.
Yeah, the
I
only one
love
that's
the
mentioned
comics.
is the hillbilly, right? In the comics.
And I think there is the Ormond Lake mine that's alluded to in
yeah.
the comics in Julie's. So, like that map got foreshadowing, which was pretty epic. But yeah, it's one of those things where there isn't evidence in the text for it to be true, but there's evidence in my brain that I want it to be. and that's good enough. I could certainly see Frank on an individual level getting inspired by it. Although, wouldn't it be about the same time anyway? So it's certainly not implausible.
And
Weren't the Legion themselves like the take of Ghostface in DBD? Because I think there was a leaked tweet which has been on the Hooked on You podcast. I think the data miner leaker.
Yes, tweet.
I remember they posted a thing where apparently after the Legion's trailer, there was like a tease of the next chapter, and it was the Legion putting their mask down and picking up Ghostface. Not saying that the Ghostface was going to be Frank, but like because I think the Legion trailer was revealed on Gamescom, or like it was a massive event of video games.
was it Game
They wanted
Awards
to hype it
maybe?
up. Yeah, Game Awards. Yeah. 2018 could it be?
It
I
was
think
the
that was
2018
their
Game Awards.
take,
Yeah.
maybe.
It's a concept animatic storyboard type thing with Ghostface's mask appearing at the end.
Interesting.
I remember it. It was quite excellent.
And one thing, taking this Legion were inspired by Ghostface a step further. I have a theory that Danny Johnson, the Ghostface, was inspired by like the Trapper, because in his tome lore, it talks about how he
This is
idolized
the miner.
the miner. Yeah, and I feel like that's what the Trapper was known as, because he was known as like
It's gotta be. I feel like they wouldn't name drop that otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's gotta be a connection.
Let's see. Another fan theory. Hux, Vecna, and Dracula observe the other trials to see what's going on. See what works, what doesn't.
I think with Vecna doing that, that's basically canon.
Yeah, he's just there to learn.
Yeah, like obviously it's not talked about much about what Hux and Dracula are doing, but I'm pretty sure Vecna investigating the trials and figuring out what's cooking is what he said he's doing.
Let's branch more into fan theory territory relating to Dead by Daylight. Do you think, like, let's pretend that there is a way to kill or destroy the entity? Do you think there'd be any adverse side effects of doing that?
I think
Like
everything would collapse and everything it's consumed would be gone. I think it's based on how the realm works, at least.
Yeah, like
How it seems to work with like everything, kind of like the entity is everything inside, and everything inside is also part of the entity. So, if that like core heart is gone, then everything else goes with it, I reckon.
I think, yeah, I think something else would go would take its place.
The dredge.
There's more than one entity.
Well, it's kind of more the fact that like the entity is a consequence of the auric particles, kind of constitute everything. Just kind of a collection of emotion. And as long as there are still people capable of feeling emotion out there in the world, out there in the multiverse, then I think something else would replace it. Probably not the same as the entity, because it's just a different reflection of human emotion and imagination.
Yeah, what I wonder is if there's like a contingency on, like, does the existence of our universe, is it predicated on the entity existing? Like, would there be like, would reality, because it's older than the universe, according to, I mean, I don't remember if it's from the tome that got scrapped or not, because I know they had some tome lore that they just took out of canon, but it's still in the wiki. But saying that it was like an ancient one and predates existence itself.
That was in tome 1, yeah.
Okay. Someone said the dredge takes over the rule of the realm. Dredge takes a spot.
Well, I just sort of imagine everything would kind of become like the void then, just this dead place.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's what the void is. It's basically the dead bits of the entity's realm, where everything the entity has, it's got no life in it left for the entity to feast on. It all becomes the void.
Mhm.
So I reckon the realm itself, and possibly places beyond that, the entity's influence would just turn out like the void, just these dead wastelands full of people with no souls.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Not some grand explosion, just a gradual cessation.
Yeah. And if there was a way to kill the entity, how do you think it'd be done? What we have in the lore is theories.
Michael Myers will stab it with his kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, that's
point.
as well.
Well made.
It's really sharp.
Mm. I mean, Myers can definitely take the entity 1v1
Just 1v1 in the
and Pyramid Head.
The entity defeats Michael Myers, but then he sits up from the floor, and the music plays. And it's over.
Just a little tiddly.
Yeah. The entity dusts its hand off from a job well done, and Michael Myers' broken body lies on the floor. The camera pans around, and the body is gone.
Ooh.
What if Michael Myers was not Kill?
Since you have Alan Wake, by the way, I think I found it really interesting how the devs hinted at the fact that Alan Wake could potentially like be in the same universe as the actual, like the a creature like the entity is not out of the realm in Alan Wake, which I found
Absolutely.
super interesting. The fact that Alan Wake could have written himself inside DBD. I don't think he created the entity. Like, I think that's way too wild.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like the idea of like Alan Wake being one of the most powerful survivors just because of the things happening in the Alan Wake universe.
Yeah, well, because in the tome it asserts that who has played Alan Wake 2?
Me.
I've done it. Not the DLCs though.
Yeah, and Ajay, have you played Alan Wake 2? So I know I'm not like
I played the first one. I've not played the second.
okay, because it describes
We
in
can
Alan
talk
Wake
about it.
2.
That's fine.
In Alan Wake 2, it describes the notion of diving bell, like Alan writing a version of himself to leave the dark place and leave his writer's room and go on little excursions. And that's when you play as Alan Wake in Alan Wake 2. That's what you're playing as. You're playing as a diving bell, a version of Alan that Alan wrote, an OC, OC Do Not Steal, sent out into the dark place.
A self-insert.
And yeah, literally a self-insert. And I think that's what DBD's version of Alan is. It's another one of those diving bells, those Allans sent out into the world to try and find a way to escape. That's what I think the DBD's Alan is. I think the tome does imply that to be the case, where he was a version of. We're not playing as Alan Wake. Alan Wake. He's still in his writer's room, like being sad a lot. But yeah, that's where I stand on Alan's canonicity in DBD. This is just a simulacrum of him.
Is this a safe space?
I think so.
I mean, I created this space, I guess. But
Yes, it's your fault. You
So,
did this.
This is how Alan Wake has polluted my brain. If I play a game that's like has a character creator, it's Alan Wake.
Make Alan Wake, fair enough.
he's self-inserting himself into everything. He's my main when I play DBD and Fortnite. If I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2, guess who it is? It's Waken
Alan
time.
Gaming. Big man Alan.
Yep, the big man himself.
DBD and Fortnite when, by the way?
I know,
I'm still waiting.
right? And that's something that
When
the
the movie comes out.
leakers with the TM after it that they talked about a while ago.
I think that was all fake. Like I've been
Yeah.
there on the Stranger Things Returnal stuff, and I was also like kind of involved with the Fortnite leaking scene. And I remember they just, I think it was a group or something. Basically, they sent a lot of information to various groups, and of course, when you see that DBD is doing this, and in Fortnite they're also saying but in Fortnite they're doing this. It was just like massive like. I don't think they ever talked about it. I do know that Dead by Daylight has appeared on surveys of like the ones that DBD does to gather interest.
Yeah.
I know Fortnite has talked about DBD in the past, but
I
I don't know if it will ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, they
when
got
they-
Myers, they got Xenomorph, they got Resident Evil.
Maybe if the DVD movie does well.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
Oh yeah, the DBD movie.
speaking of, that was actually on my list of questions. For the Dead by Daylight movie, let's say if you're in charge of it, what do you do?
There
Do
has
you-
to be a scene saying "We'll be dead by daylight" or something like that, just for more views value.
Just Dwight goes up to someone and be like, "Hey, I'm the leader here, and you have to prove thyself."
Yeah,
Um,
God.
we have such a bond together.
but yeah, do you?
Yui says we will escape by any means necessary, but no one can tell because speaking Japanese.
Don't worry, I'll heal you. My botany knowledge is very useful.
Do you set it in the entity's realm? Do you set it in the trials? Do you pick a character and go based on them? Like, what do you do if you're the writer that they haven't hired yet?
I think I'm observer maxing. I think the observer would be an excellent protagonist because he could introduce the world of DBD to people who might otherwise not know what it is in a very compelling way, and give us a window into the trials that we don't often get to enjoy, as DBD players ourselves. Oh, I was worried we just found you off the ground there, Nick, but no, it worked out. Therefore, it was good play. That's how thinking works.
Minskal Asimov, what do you guys do if you're making the DBD movie?
Oh, it's so tough because there's loads of stuff in DVD that's like worth covering in a movie, but there's only like maybe 2 hours they can actually cover.
Yeah.
Because part of me thinks like, oh, they should go the route of pick out a character.
I'll show them in Skull
focus on
again.
them.
Thank you.
But then in another way, it's like, but then you're missing out on all the other good characters you could cover. It's just so hard. I do like the idea of like an observer thing. Like maybe it could be like it starts out in a trial, and then you sort of learn about the different characters in the trial as it goes on through like mini backstories. So you could sort of learn about the core form people or something like that.
I was going to show them. I was going to show them in Skull's Burden.
Or they could even just introduce like completely different characters, like non-DBD characters. A bit like with Frank Stone, like the spin-off, just have like a completely new cast of people. It's just leading up to the realm, or it's set in the realm partly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the Observer stories, it's outright stated that the entity sends killers to the Observer's tower every so often just to fuck with him. And I'd love to see like a killer or two invading the tower, and he has to like look through the memories of other people in the fog to try and like figure out a way to survive. Getting to see, and it's like that becomes a window into the trials, into the entity's involvement in everyone's lives, because the observer has to like escape through people's memories to try and figure out how to survive what's coming his way. But no, that'd be really a really fun narrative. See, especially if you had him paired off with a more intellectual killer who might want that knowledge for himself, like the Doctor or the Blight.
I originally said that this was going to be my biggest fear with the Dead by Daylight movie, but now I'm kind of leaning into it. I just want, just imagine if it's like the Ready Player One of horror.
Oh my god!
It's just an IP smorgasbord that you could just point at the screen. I don't know. It would be
You mean like a lot of
2
IPs
hours.
appearing?
Yeah.
Oh, then I know Cenobite and Freddy wouldn't appear for sure. Maybe Leatherface won't appear either. Like they hate. I don't know. With Freddy, I don't know how much money they're wasting on not giving him skins. Cenobite as well. Sadly.
But I think seeing licensed characters, or at least allusions to them, a couple of them might not be impossible. Looking at you, Ghostface. Given he wasn't hooked on you.
True.
But I think in terms of licensed characters, we could maybe see in a DVD movie at some point if they ever was to do well and they want to do sequels. The only ones I would ever I'd like maybe see, or at least see allusions to, would be Chucky, Ghosty, Nick Cage. Seeing Matthew Peretta playing Alan Wake would be really funny.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I think that probably would be about it. Although if they ever got Terrifier, you know they'd love to put art in because can you remember like Terrifier did like the Ice Nine Kills video and everything.
Yes.
So I could 100% see just like that idiot clown.
Uh-huh.
Although I think the smart play would actually have Nick Cage playing Talbot Grimes, then have John Travolta play Nick Cage.
That's a great.
If-
This headcanon I like a lot. Michaela and Sable were never besties. Sable was obsessed with Michaela and thought they were best friends,
I like that a lot.
which is why you never hear about Sable and Michaela's lore.
I can kill a half button if you want.
Base.
That was great.
She's just like stalking her like Joe Goldberg.
Yeah.
No.
I would have preferred that, honestly. Like a stalking. Like I want evil. I want more evil survivors. I don't like the fact that everyone is. I remember way back they said that all survivors are normal people. Like if you play DBD, you can see, oh, okay, Claudette, identify with Claudette, or oh, this is Dwight. They wanted survivors to be like people you see in Walmart. And then I think with Felix, they started to go crazy. Elodie is like the Lara Croft of the DBD universe, or like Hadi, stuff like that. It's
It's like the idea. Sable isn't the one that you see in Walmart, but don't worry, she sees you.
Oh, I mean, you see her in Hot Topic.
So final question that we're gonna ask for the day: what other types of games or genres would you like to see Behavior explore in the DBD universe? Or or do you think they should stick to what they know?
I think it's really sad that Midwinter Project didn't get off the ground. I think that could have been really fun. Kind of co-op Left 4 Dead style shooter. That would have been. I think that could have been a really good time.
Yeah.
Casting of Frank Stone was kind of my ideal DBD riff on game. I think at this point I'd be happy with something like Books, or the film that's coming out, or like a Netflix style limited series. I would much rather see something like that than more games. Give us more comic books. Legion comic was really, really good. Took ages to come out, unfortunately. The last one was delayed by about 7 ice ages.
Yes.
But the comic books were great. I'd love to see more of those. So my answer is not a game. Haha.
All right. Asimovs, is there any type of DBD spin-off that you'd play?
It's tough. I wasn't that. I tried to play Casting of Frank Stone. I didn't end up finishing it. I probably will go back and do it one day, but I don't know. I struggled to get engaged with the story on that one. So far, at least, I don't know. DBD wise, I don't think the spin-offs have been that great. Like Hooked on You, that's what it's called, isn't it? Dating sim?
Hooked on You.
That again, like it was like funny for like 5 minutes, but then I just turned it off. I just couldn't do it. Then we had like What the Fog? What even was that? I don't know what it was.
What the Fog was. What the Fog was peak fiction. That was beautiful. Don't how dare you besmirch the good name of What the Fog? Sorry, I can't give a straight face.
I don't think I even downloaded that. I think one of my favorite DBD spin-offs actually has been the DBD pinball game. That's on the pinball. I forget what the game's called, like Pinball M or something.
Yeah.
Without playing What the Fog, how would you know the deep lore behind Claudette's cuddly toy, Mr. Moss, that for some reason has a massive gameplay like relevance in that? I'm gonna jump out of the window.
And then DBD Mobile, I've never even touched that either. It seemed like I had a few good ideas, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of think like DBD's success was sort of this like lightning in a bottle moment, and their attempts to spread it so far to other things have just not been the best. I do think Casting of Frank Stone was like the right idea, but I just think what they chose to focus on was like, I don't know, that I feel like it could have been, I don't know, like a clearer story. I don't know. I guess I haven't played it. I can't really judge it, but
I think it fell into a lot of the supermassive pitfalls. It's like a lot of the characters were quite grating. It felt like it wasn't going anywhere sometimes. It definitely has its problems.
Yeah.
That I think the right direction is a great way of putting it. It feels like this is what a DBD spin-off game should feel like, even if it didn't quite play all the notes just right, a little bit off key, you know.
Right. No.
And Mint Skull, do you have any ideas for a DBD spin-off that you'd like to see?
I really liked Pixel Bush's answer that instead of it being a game spin-off, just like books or exploring the lore more. I mean, the movie is coming out, and the reason why I don't want games is mainly because I would rather they focus on the game they already have instead of like expanding. Because I personally think DBD in itself, for me, feels like an unfinished game. Even though we have so much content, I think they are not focusing on the things that matter, which is player retention. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm going in a very, very long tangent, but in short, mm, the grind in DBD is boring. Like, there is no reason to play it outside of just enjoy it, and that's why the community is so pissed. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, it's a complicated thing. I would rather they invest resources in making DBD polished and making it good, because I think it has a lot of potential that it still hasn't achieved yet. I think like it needs a type of push that might bring it more into the mainstream. I still think DBD is very niche right now in terms of games. Like, I cannot compare it to Marvel Rivals. I mean, it's unfair, but like DBD has insane licenses.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to say that DBD is niche. Like, it has Resident Evil, Alien, Silent Hill, Alan Wake. It's going to have FNAF. But are the the community staying for DBD? It feels like it's a cycle. They release a licensed chapter, and then that's it for the next hit. I think it's boring. I would rather they focus on books to explore the lore of DBD, maybe more merch, like more revenue and more reasons for players, especially to be interested in the lore. Because right now the lore is only on the bio of the characters, and that's it. Like, the majority of people don't read it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're saying is we need people to come in and write some DBD stories. And a great example of
Yep.
someone who'd be great at this would be remember let me just Google Mint Skull business email address. It's like us as massive DBD lore fanatics. I think you should hire massive DBD lore fanatics to write books for you. That's how that works, right?
Wait, hold on.
I would be horrible at that. Absolutely. I can barely speak English. I would be making an entire book about DBD lore.
I mean, to be fair, have you read Behavior's Localizations, Some of the Tome Story?
Yeah.
They don't either. Like,
There's been grammar errors in the past. I remember
there's
like
been so many.
very weird.
Okay, hold up. As always, the best answers in the chat. There needs to be a DBD fighting game where they manage to power scale Trapper even harder.
Yes. God,
Oh,
I
that'd be
can't. I love how for on a power scale Trapper, where like all the like the great warriors and soldiers of these empires have to unify to defeat strong Evan. Like, with his padded jaws
Entity
rampaging
boosted,
around.
no?
That was amazing.
All right, well,
That's like the cop out.
yeah.
Entity boosted. That's it.
Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much for being in this episode of Hooked Ones. I apologize. I told you guys 2 hours. It's been almost 3. But I'm going to let you guys go now. And but before we do that, I'll let you guys give your closing thoughts, any shout outs to yourself or to other things that you enjoy. Let's start with Ajamaz, Mystical, Pixel Bush. We'll go in that order. Ajamaz, is there anything you'd like to shout out? Or yeah.
I don't know. I guess just my YouTube channel. That's basically all I got to shout out, I think. And my third channel that I launched a while ago, and I have not been able to upload on for a few months.
Is that the?
As Z-Moz.
I was gonna say, is that the one that's like lore to fall asleep to?
Yeah,
Love it.
and I've got the second part of the iceberg coming up soon-ish. Just another hour of the iceberg. So yeah, that's on the third channel. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Mid Skull, any big projects you're working on or anything you want to shout out?
I mean, as I would like to thank you for inviting me. And like this collab is crazy. The lore people of DBD, it's also crazy. Like Asimov's was one of the reasons, like one of my biggest inspirations in making content, because the content he made was not like I said before, like at the start of the stream, not gameplays. It was weird stuff. I learned a lot through like those videos. Pixel Bush as well does fantastic lore videos. Like how to say this? Like there's no way to improve them in my opinion. If you want to know the lore of X character, go to Pixel Bush. Like it's absolutely crazy. And I like the fact that we are kind of like the out there DVD content creators, so to speak. My content is fast food. I wouldn't compare even to like Pixel Bush because like, it's well researched stuff. And in terms of any shoutouts or big projects, I'll let people know later. But I do plan to make 2025 a very big year. I have a lot of projects that I wanted to do in 2024 that I postponed to this year, mainly because of FNAF, because I know that's going to bring a lot of new players. So I would rather do it so it's not outdated for one of the biggest chapters in DBD. And yeah, maybe start streaming. Like I would like to start streaming as well, but not not as a focus. How do I explain this? YouTube would still be my main thing. I enjoy making videos. Just streaming to make videos, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about it.
Supplementing your
Yes,
your channel.
exactly.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Pixel Bush.
That's awesome. Well, I first want to say, Mint Skull, that was very, very kind thing to say about me and my work. That means a lot, mate. So yeah, that was awesome. And no, there isn't a lot of DBD content that I watch these days on YouTube, but yours is most definitely one of them. So I I feel much the same appreciation for you and what you make. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as you as well in terms of things I've been stalling and sitting on, waiting for FNAF to drop because I want to get eyes on it. YouTube seems to really like making long videos lately, so I guess people really want more hour-long, insane things. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of scripts in the pipeline, but the most exciting thing I'm working on at the moment is coming out on Valentine's Day. The Grandmaster's Guide to Skull Merchant 2025 edition. Nice. Nick has not let me talk about Skull Merchant if he can avoid it this entire stream, but now he can't stop me. Yeah, I've got the Grandmaster's Guide in production at the moment. Got some really exciting people I'm working on it with. It's going to be so much fun. How to get some value out of the worst killer in Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I've got a lot of very long, very like I've got a lot in the pipeline. But that's the next one. Is going to be just before the PTB hits for the new chapter, which people seem to think is going to be third week of February. I want to get the Grandmaster's Guide done for then. Yeah, so it's been awesome to be here, Nick. Thank you very much.
Yes,
absolute gentleman.
Thank you.
For bringing the Avengers together.
For uniting us.
I was about to say I admire the hell out of all three of you, and I'm glad that I was able to be the FrickingNick Fury of this situation.
Can I say one last thing, by the way? Because I was gonna mention this, but I completely forgot.
Go for it.
The first time you were recommended to me on YouTube, like the first video I've seen of you was the DVD, exactly that one. And then there was one super cool of like how many build like numbers. Was it you that made it?
I made that. Yes, I did make that a while ago.
That video as well I got recommended, and that's when I like had you. Basically, the feed video was what got you on my radar. Basically, I remember Blight tier list, like add-on, the Blighted add-on tier list, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was also the first time that I was like, oh, Asimov's knows I exist because you commented on it.
Yeah, like outside of context, the feat tier list put you on my radar is a hell of a sentence, by the way. Outside of context.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much to all three of you. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Get some rest. yeah, thank you guys. I can't believe that I was able to actually get you guys together. It's been amazing. So yeah.
Nothing short of a pleasure, mate. Nothing short of a pleasure.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right. See you guys.
See you, gents.
All right. That was Hooked One's episode. I think 14. I think this is 14. I need to go back and count all of them that I've done. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. This is a big stream. Only on Hooked Ones can we get all the lore guys together, right?